George R.R. Martin is canceled. And not because he missed his yet another self-imposed deadline to finish A Song of Fire and Ice, but because he dared, because he had the audacity and the unmitigated gall to mispronounce somebody's names. Now, because of that, now apparently he's phobic, his problems with race, and all sorts of other terrible things, because Twitter is an awful place full of awful people that want other people to feel as awful as they feel. That's literally the whole story. I can't even believe this is modern day, qualifies as modern day outrage. By the way, really appreciate everyone always smashing that like button and subscribing. Really, really appreciate that. I know the news topics are going to be light in August, but I promise to work hard to keep you entertained. Now, this comes via Data Racer. SJWs are freaking out after George R.R. Martin mispronounced names and praised white male actors at the Hugo Awards. They're calling him all sorts of things and an old white man that needs to die off. George R.R. Martin refused to bend the knee, calling out the attacks and intolerance. Martin mispronounced names of nominees and celebrated the achievements of dead white men over actual winners. This is a real article. Imagine being this disturbed. Let's just take a look at some of the responses. These are certified blue check marks on Twitter too. I just wish there was a world in which George R.R. Martin didn't feel welcome to talk. Just imagine a WorldCon that didn't keep picking old white men to be Toastmasters. Go on, imagine it. Also, not praise any fascists. George R.R. Martin kept referring to an award by its old John Campbell instead of its new name. The name had been changed last year because Campbell was a racist. I'm sure he was, according to Twitter. Now, maybe he really was. Maybe. George R.R. Martin made it clear that what he values most are racist white men that many would rather forget. So I wish him well in becoming one. How? It's like, what is this? What is this? How do these people get through the day? But what I like is George R.R. Martin refuses to bend the knee. Words for our times. We are all full of weakness and errors. Let us mutually pardon each other for our follies. From Voltaire. We see, whew, that's some extra effing BS. That isn't even an apology. This isn't an apology. Isn't it so funny? It's so funny how typical the reaction is from these power-hungry losers who demand, first of all, put it this way. If somebody ever demands an apology from you, you should respond in kind with a demand that they go F themselves. Nobody has the right to an apology, period. Look, if it's somebody that really matters to you, it's your loved one, a family member, they're upset and they demand an apology, fine. But some clown on Twitter, get out of here. Look at all these blue check marks. It's kind of weird it's kind of weird this is the only apology, because this was the problem. Yes, because what about second problem and third and fourth problem? Just got 3 words for you from Trans Mask fan. Go F yourself. Okay. Is it any surprise? Is it any surprise that people that demand apologies on Twitter? Actually, I should probably look this up. Let's see. A whopping... Oh, so he's not even getting ratioed. Okay. Looks like George R.R. Martin has been paying attention. Never apologize. It'll never be enough. I mean, that's what I like. I love it. I don't see. Here's Marie Robinette. George, I was deeply honored that you asked me to present an award last night. I am very angry at the choices you made at the ceremony. If you would like me to explain to you, you have the phone number. The moral grandstanding of these people. Unbelievable. Mary Ann, who's accomplished very little in her life in comparison to George R.R. Martin, telling George R.R. Martin that I'll explain to you why you need to apologize to the world. I feel you need to apologize for your behavior at the Hugos, mispronouncing names, not taking the time to get them right seems unprofessional. Bringing up Campbell was disrespectful, especially with the award name change and Jeanette, I don't know how to say, Yin, taking a stand on the last year. I just love how people are so offended, but they're not. I mean, George R.R. Martin doesn't care. I mean, why would you ever apologize to these people? Ever. Most people are just saying, just finish the book. Just finish the book. He did say if The Winds of Winter isn't out by July 29th, fans can imprison him. He's missed it. Stop making deadlines, George. You're just putting more pressure on yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, making deadlines for yourself. I mean, why would you take time to host some stupid award ceremony? And look at this. Look at this garbage that they wrote on the Daily Dot. Criticized for everything. For what? Mispronouncing a word? What about that even has to do with trans people? There's got to be more to this story. Celebrated author George R.R. Martin angered a lot of fans this week. No, not because he still hasn't finished the book. The Hugo Awards is one of the most prestigious and well-known award ceremonies for science fiction and fantasy literature, and something many SFF fans and creators... is that science fiction and fantasy? Okay, I get it. Creators look forward to it every year. Like many big events, who looks forward to award ceremonies? Seriously, people, stop watching rich elites give themselves awards, all right? Find literally anything else on television. It's streamed online for fans, but some felt Martin fell short of the responsibility bestowed upon him, repeatedly mispronouncing the names of nominees and celebrating the achievements of dead white men over actual winners. That is a real sentence that this woman wrote. Natalie Lurs summarized the disaster on her blog, calling the entire ceremony blatantly disrespectful of the nominees and the winners. George R.R. Martin repeatedly mispronounced the names of nominees, and in one case, a publication which was nominated. So what? Oh my God. I mean, look out the window. All right? This is what you're worried about? The fact that Martin chose not to use that information. Sorry, all the nominees were asked to provide pronunciations for their names in advance. She wrote, the fact that Martin chose not to use that information is disgusting and racist? What? How? How would he even know the race of particular people's names? All right? Isn't it entirely likely that a white person might have a tricky to pronounce name? I don't even understand how you can make that claim. These people are insane. As nearly without exception, the names he mispronounced were black and brown. I mean, okay, but did he know that going into it? You'd have to prove that George R.R. Martin knew that going into it, and you'd also have to prove that he purposely mispronounced it, which, of course, you can't do. At worst, you know, if I were reading people's names off, if I were hosting an event, I'd probably use the phonetically spelled versions of their names so I didn't mispronounce them. But I'm also not George R.R. Martin. If you're George R.R. Martin and you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. I'm sure he wasn't paid to do that work either. Praising a fascist and mispronouncing the names of black and brown nominees. Are you kidding me? How much of a reach do you have to put? I mean, how far are you reaching to be offended? Martin also continually dead-named John W. Campbell as a writer who had a Hugo Award named after him until 2019, when the title was changed to the Astounding Award on the heels of a scathing speech given by winner Jeanette. John W. Campbell, for whom this award was named, was a fascist, she said at the time. Through his editorial control of astounding science fiction, he is responsible for setting the tone of science fiction that still haunts the genre today. Sterile, male, white, exalting in the ambitions of imperialists and colonizers, settlers, and industrialists. Oh, please retweet me, world. I am so stunning and brave. I write fiction novels. Please worship me. Are you joking? Now, George should pronounce the names correctly, but this ridiculous faux outrage is some of the most legendary I've ever seen. The Game of Thrones also reportedly complained about the fandom getting bigger, which some took to be as a criticism of the fandom becoming more inclusive. Of course they did! Because anything an old white guy says, somebody's looking to be offended by it. If you think I'm wrong, read this article. If you think I'm wrong, read these tweets. There is no scenario in which somebody is naturally offended by a mispronunciation. All right? Unless you can prove he's doing it on purpose. Yeah, I know dudes like, there used to be this whole mispronounce somebody's name as a power move. That's not what George R. R. Martin was doing here. He was probably just being lazy. All right? And the idea that him complaining about it getting bigger is somehow about it's welcoming to people who aren't straight and white. How the literal F are you making that leap? And when mentioning N.K. Jemisin, a black female author who won Best Novel 3 times in a row, an accomplishment Lurs rightfully pointed out is unprecedented for the Hugos, Martin turned it into an excuse to harp on achievements of a white male author who won the award 3 times over a span of 9 years. He harped on it? There was also a whole segment about the Oscar statuette and its crotch. It was gender essentialist and transphobic. What? Don't give these people your book. You know what, George? Don't even give them your book. Are you joking? This is some Olympic level faux offense. All I can say is smash like to save humanity. If you enjoyed this video, please click that red subscribe button down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.